여보세요. 여보세요. 감사합니다. Another reacting for once video. Before we get started, I'd just like to say thank you to everybody who checks out my K-pop news videos and interacts with those as well. It's one way for me to sort of get more into the industry and learn a little bit more. And then, of course, when I get some feedback from everybody who views, that also helps to it brings more information, so I get a better understanding. And then the other side of it too is that obviously most of my reaction content to the music videos and such is not monetizable, so, and I have no issue with that. I've said before, I don't mind it. I'm glad to help out the artists and the other groups, the companies, give them the views, give them the revenue and all of that. That's all good, man. It's interesting to actually see like what's going on with the business right now as far as the online distribution, the way it all works and everything. It's a very it's very much a little spot in history, because it's like it wasn't like this before. It's like this now, and in the future it's going to be different. Like I don't know, I have no idea exactly what it's going to be like, but it isn't going to be like this. It's going to be a little bit different. But while we're here, saying I have no issue with helping out the groups. I think it's rather cool, actually, and of course they've helped me to gain some subscribers here, gain a bit of an audience for myself, so that's very cool. And so the K-pop news is a bit of a way for me to at least get something out there that I know on a regular basis will retain its monetizable classification, its category, and then that way, hopefully it helps out later on down the line, because it would be fun to just do this full time. You know what I mean? Like to just have to worry about doing this and cover expenses that way. But we're just starting. But I wanted to just say thank you, for all. It's really kind of a cool thing. And some of these reacting for once videos are also, qualify for the monetization. It all depends. Like some things I've already tried to do like at least one of these videos, and it was outright blocked by the copyright rules, so there was like I couldn't even post it. It was, so there's things like that you run into, but some of them work, so we'll just go with it. And of course, I have to check out the solo stage performances to give a shout out for. Is it Andatore N? I'm not sure about the pronunciation, but it looks like Andatore. It looks like Italian, maybe. It kind of reminds me of the tempo markings. Is this piece andante? No, it's Andatore. It has that kind of feel to it, but it looks like you've aggregated this playlist of the fan cam footage of the different solo stages from the Seoul concert. So that's very cool. Certainly appreciate that. So when I was like hearing about the way the concert was going, how they had the set list, they have like some of their songs as a group, and then there's some like some subunit stuff, but then they also had these solo performances, right? And just to relate, like one of the reasons that I was like, oh, this is like super interesting, man, is when I was in college and I was going for my music degree, right, I played with this guitar ensemble, right? On average, there was about 8 of us. You need a certain amount at the beginning of the semester in order for the class to actually carry, and so they can hold it. But by the time you have to play and actually perform stuff, we're usually down to about 8, which is kind of like the minimum that you need. it would be like it's the sort of classical 4-part harmonization. So you have a soprano, an alto, a tenor, and a bass part. So 2 for each, right? 2 soprano, 2 alto, 2 playing the tenor line, and 2 playing the bass line. And so we would practice certain pieces, right, on the program. That's like in classical music, it's called a program. In popular music, it's called the set list, right, for the show. And this would, so there's certain pieces that we as a group were practicing all semester, and we would play those pieces together. And then there would be a portion of the recital where we had some solo pieces, or they're called studio pieces, which just means study. And so it's an individual performance, right? We go out one at a time. We go out and you take your seat and you play your piece or pieces. Sometimes it was 1 or 2. It all depends. And then at the end, we probably come back together for 1 or 2 pieces all together again. And that would be kind of like the outline of one of the recitals. And so when I saw this, I was like, oh, we used to do this also, And so it was like, okay, a certain relatable aspect of the way that they structured this concert. It was a very cool thing. It's a very cool thing. And as we go through this, we'll just see what they're doing. Some are covers, some are original pieces, some are like Nayeon, she does pop, but that's her single. I mean, you know what I mean? So they do different songs, but we'll just see what they're doing. And at the end, I think, there might be some insights that we can glean, or some indicators as to what may lie down the road, right? As far as like, where are we going to be, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, or whatever. I hope Twice stays together for forever. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I kind of hope. I hope, that 10 years from now, we'll be watching Twice, and they'll be hosting some sort of variety show, kind of like Knowing Brothers, but instead of that group, it's Twice, and they have different guests on who are the popular idols and actors and, all those different things. So, but let's get into this with the first, I believe this is, this is Taeyeon's solo performance, the fan cam from Seoul. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so first of all, this is look at this piano, man. Look at this piano, dude. this is insane. This is gorgeous. Look at this. This is custom. Like, it's probably a certain build for the piano itself, but just, to have this finish on it with the her name syllables on there. A very interesting rendition of this song. It seems like a cover. I'm not sure. I don't know. But it kind of sounds like that. The audience seemed to know as soon as it came in. She had a very nice little run at the beginning, the sort of intro. She's extremely talented as a musician. And I've seen it before because I've seen her play in some of the other things that she has put up. As far as the Twice content is concerned, but she plays, and again, I went to college for this, and I wasn't a piano major, although you have to play the piano. That's one thing you have to do is keyboard harmony. But I have many friends who were piano majors. That's what they do. Pianists, right? That's their instruments. And of course, I've seen the the doctorate level, the instructors, right? Like they're the ones who've been doing it for 20, 30 years or something, and they will perform all around the world. I've been to many, many recitals, man. Many recitals. And her piano playing is absolutely a very, very high tier. Like she's, she, it's not just, she has excellent technique as far as arpeggios, melodic runs, so like scales essentially, but she's using the pedals properly. And then, of course, the vocal part as well, right? Like her melodic lines over what the piano harmonization is. Of course, we know she can sing, right? But this is it's so like technically correct. And it was really cool, right? At first I thought, okay, is this just going to be her? Like, the only thing we're going to hear is the piano and then her singing. But she actually had the additional sounds of, I'm not sure if it was a backing track or if it was the band, but that added depth to it. Like, because in this sort of venue, even though there's speakers and all of that, but she's sort of like that one source of sound coming from the center, right? And there is a certain space that most of the sound, even if it's coming out of the speakers, there's a certain area of the venue where it's directed at, right? So as soon as the rest of that mix comes in, it really, really just expands everything. But it was really, really awesome. My goodness, it's just one of those things where it would be cool if it was longer, but for the sake of the program and the time that they had to work with and everything. But it's really, really good, man. And this is something that I'll come back to later, because this is an indicator of like what is possible for Diane on her own as a performer, right? This is an indication of that. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Tsuyu. I'm not even familiar with these songs, but man, this is like, it's a really really good. And this is like Savage Maknae, right? Like oh man, dude, Suyu, she's this stage, okay, this stage, man, this stage is like, this is impressive, dude. Like everything, uh, and I've only seen barely any of it. This is really the first functional thing I've seen with the stage, but dude, this is insane. Like the mechanics of it and everything. This is really really awesome. That the things that you can do, then, you know what I mean. Um, really, she's she's really just owning the entire stage. I I kind of got a little bit of like Michael Jackson type of impression there, right? Especially when she where is it, when she walks up, right, and then she starts performing on the platform and everything, and really cool choreography too. Like, man, it's just everything about this is so slick, right? It's just so cool. um and it was interesting too. I'm not familiar with the song. Like I said, I don't know. Let's see, she's got the dancing, right? I think it was, let's see, where is it? No, when she has that wonderful note here, right? So the background dancers, they're still, staying very dynamic and moving a lot. But she had this wonderful high note, right? The Die For Me sort of melody line there. And I noticed that she stopped with the dancing and pulled everything into the center, and so she could project like that actual line, and it sounded so good, man. It sounded incredible, dude. Tsuyu's solo voice, like, but she's got everything, and then of course she goes back into the choreography. It's just, this was really cool, man. This was really really awesome. I mean, just the idea, just knowing that this is little Tsuyu. This is the Maknae. This is the baby of the group, and she's completely just killing it, man. Like, she's owning this entire stage. Oh man, dude, this is man, this is really cool. It's just really cool. It's just really cool the way that they did this, and also that they pretty much, they informed all of this as far as certainly as far as their solos go, right? Like, they chose what they were gonna do. They chose the song. They, you know what I mean. They probably had a lot to do with choreography, if there's choreography involved. So that's just it's just a cool aspect of it. Oh, here we go. Dude, okay. Okay. It, so okay, so Sana definitely had a similar thing to what Suyu was doing, right? So she came out with this solo song. Is this a? I believe this is a cover. Also, again, I'm not sure. Um, but she's completely owning the stage and really like nice choreography, right? They both had a similar start, but where Suyu was, they're all sort of standing around that raised platform of the stage, but they're making a circle essentially, right? And so in this one, it also kind of starts out with this circle arrangement, and then the other dancers sort of they all rise and then sort of scatter, kind of like flower petals or something, and then Sana is there in the center, and this choreography, it, it's very cool. It's quite sexy. It's this is oh my goodness, dude. Oh my goodness. Uh, she's did quite an awesome performance. It's very dynamic. It's very smooth. It's very cool. Whatever this song is, its whole vibe and everything is just sort of, it's very minor. It's very sort of noir, um, extremely dance, right? Like this is very much pop dance type of a song, and it's fun. Really good wardrobe choice too. As far as these fits, I like the colors, the contrast between the red and the black colors. A lot of the like flowiness of the garments, if you will, I guess, right? Like that all comes into effect once the choreography sequence actually, is performed. But some of these moves, man, some of this stuff is wild, dude. This is wild. Like, oh my goodness, dude. Oh my goodness. I feel. You know what it is. You know exactly what I'm gonna say. You know exactly. You know exactly what the deal is here. And she knew it too. This is the thing, right? I'm not saying anything that isn't very obvious, even to her, because this was definitely part of the of what was intended there, and it worked, right? It totally worked, totally got him. Okay, let's see. I better move on before I you know lose my ability to focus. Not sure this will be much better. Oh goodness. those guys are sweating, man. They're burning up. Look at like having the beanie, the jacket, like, oh man. Maybe it was kind of cool in there or not, but you're still like, it's really hot probably by the time they're a couple minutes into it, right? So Momo obviously going with a choreography oriented type of solo performance, and that makes perfect sense because she is Momo, right? Like, this is her thing. Her thing is dance. The first part of this, right? All of this, right? This whole sequence right here in the performance, a lot of this was like just classic Momo dance, right? Like this reminds me of 16, like the not even the actual sort of stage performances in 16, but do you remember all the choreo stuff that they showed, like when they're just in the practice rooms and they're just dancing, just to dance. Like Momo's that type of dancer. Like, she will dance just for the sake of dancing, right? And that's still true. Like, that's what this first part was like. Okay, yeah, like, this is Momo, right? Like, this is what she does. Like, she dances, right? And it's really, really also interesting contrast that she has the male dancers, because she's such a strong dancer that she can be more powerful, like more aggressive with her movements and everything. And that's kind of something that is reinforced by this change to some male choreography backup dancers here, right? But like, yeah, all of this, dude, all of this is like straight up old classic. I was gonna say old school Momo type of attitude and performance and everything. Like, all of this felt like, okay, cool, right? And then she went all like, well, you know what happened. She went all dark Momo on us. But okay, so this, well, first of all, you know what I'm saying. You know where I'm coming from. But this is also, if we think about it in contrast to the way that the initial dance sequence was, this is the grown-up Momo. Then this is like, the evolution, the development of her as a person too, much more mature, right? Even look at the lighting too. Look at the lighting. Look at the change in the actual stage lighting. Bright, right? White light here. Why is white light important? Because it brings out all the colors in the fits, right? Like every color on stage is visible in all of this. Now these colors here, especially red, these evoke different emotions. The red, the purple, right? This all has a different sort of connotation, a different, look at this, the orange, almost, a little bit of yellow and red and all that. Like, all of this has meaning. And this entire portion, this entire sequence of the choreo was like, Momo has grown into her, womanhood, her just like, she's just her, you know what I mean? She's grown up Momo now, and so that's actually, if you think back to it, like, there was some stuff on 16, that first performance in front of JYP, and I was kind of like, wow, ooh, huh, what are we doing here, Momo? But she's always had the ability through dance to accomplish these things, like to express things, different emotions and different sort of experiences and all of that. So this is quite a fitting solo performance. It's actually really cool because this is now we're seeing, even what we've seen so far, so much of the girls' personalities like evident in all of these solo performances, right? So I mean that's just one cool part of it. Oh goodness. Okay, so we all know, I don't even have to do the anime nosebleed thing anymore. This was straight up Sharon, right? Like this isn't Mina. This is Sharon. But okay, and so again, the choreography sort of set up at the beginning, basically circular, with the solo performer in the center. I'm pretty sure that this is a cover, and so it's interesting, right? Because we have, of course, the original song, right? These are a few of my favorite things, which was sampled and used in the the song that this performance is covering, and then now this is a cover. So there's sort of like layers or orders of magnitude to the lineage of that original song. It's actually a really cool mix with the sort of staccato string sounds and then the bass and the percussion added into it as well. Now Mina did a really interesting thing because her vocal work is really good on this. Like Mina being the other really, concentrated dance talent, I guess you could say, right? Because the whole group, they're all good at dancing, but you have Momo and Mina with the heaviest background, I guess you could say, in dancing, right? And her choreography is really, like, this is cool. Yes, it was sexy and all this other stuff, but this was really cool. Like, she had this energy about it, right? This presence, her stage presence during this was just cool. Like, this was really, she's so cool, dude. Like, all this swag. Look at all this. This is pure swag. Like it's like, of course, the vocal talent, the dance talent. Yeah, that's all there. And then she just does, like, this was really cool, man. Like, full on, just swag, just drip. just like crazy, man. Again, a solo performance where, you know, she just owns the entire stage. Oh, and then, you know, so obviously, I've been scrolling and, you know, clips of this. You can't avoid it. And I'm kind of like, no, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. But to be honest, it was not like it was done pretty well. Like the entire thing, it just maintains this level of coolness and tastefulness, and yeah, it's like it's a perfect distillation of that. Like she's so good, so competent in the dance and also in the singing. She just reached this perfect level, this perfect balance. Uh, this was just cool. Everything about this was like just really really cool. Like my goodness, Mina's just showing her coolest, most capable self. You know what I mean? And it's quite impressive actually. That's really cool. That was cool. Like that was just cool. Oh, okay. And let's see where we at. Oh goodness, here we go. So that was an original song, of course. it was very interesting because it was in three. I was hold on, is there Okay, so it's in three from the very beginning. There's a part where it kind of takes on more of like a swing type of a feel. I guess after the first verse. Really interesting song structure. The chords on this and the vocal part too, this sounded and felt a lot like really Beatlesy, really John Lennon-y. If you ever listen to some of John Lennon's solo stuff, there was an album that was just called Acoustic, actually, that was released, and there was a lot of these like in studio recordings where it was just him and just playing the guitar and then singing, and the chords on this, the vocal, like all of it really reminds me of that type of sound and that type of style. It's really cool to see. I've just been waiting for, her to actually play something, and it didn't matter what it was, right? I have no expectations. I've just been, have been seeing her so many times pictured with the guitar, and it's like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, you want to play it, like do it, like just do it, you know what I mean? But it's very like it's to me it's a little bit, it's quite endearing just because of my own sort of background. It's like it's really exciting to see her do it, and you kind of feel proud, a little bit like a proud for them, like, okay, you did really well. It's a really beautiful song. And then of course the other aspect is just everything that sort of happened before the tour. Chaeyoung being she's I say my old biases. She's the very first thing I ever associated with, not just Twice but also with K-pop. So you know what I mean? Like, she'll always be that, and it's just really nice to see her having fun and doing what she wants to do. I'm really sort of glad for that. But it's a great song. I'm gonna, yeah. Like, I'll figure out the chords to this, and I'll be playing this to myself, but it's quite a beautiful song, and I'm just glad that she got a chance to do it and perform it finally, and I certainly can't wait to see that and all of these at the concert too. So let's see. Next one is Gio. Was that an original song? Is this a cover or is this an original song? She's of course she's the leader and she's one of the main vocalists, right? So she's doing something much more vocal oriented here, which makes sense. She's got that powerful voice. Gio's voice is, I mean, obviously it's one of the strongest in the group. It has become one of the most distinct, like the first, voice that I really sort of locked onto was like, oh, that's Gio. Like, if it's a song that I hadn't heard before or whatever, and then, that high note comes around or one of these main, like, really strong vocal parts comes around, it's like, Gio's voice when you hear it, It's a really cool performance, man. She's got, this is much more, feels like a Western pop performance, you know what I mean? Because they don't do, like, the Western performers don't lean too much into choreography. Like, this feels like a Western pop act that you might see at a concert, because they tend to sort of, in order to have more stability in the voice, right, in the vocal delivery, so there's not so much of an emphasis on choreography. Sometimes there's no choreography, really. They might have the dancers, like they might have backup dancers, but they're going to take a position on the stage and they're just kind of, for the most part, stay there. This is also the way that you see, if I could relate it back to, again, my own experiences, because I wasn't a voice major, but I have many friends who were voice majors, and when at a recital, if it's something classical, there's obviously there's no choreography involved. They will stand relative to what is accompanying them. Oftentimes it's a piano. Like, usually you'll have somebody playing a harmony part on the piano, and then the vocalist will stand off to the side of that, just next to the piano, next to the opposite the player, obviously, the where they're sitting, and they'll actually want to be quite anchored to the stage and to their position on the stage in relation to the piano, because a lot of times that's how they can, like, you can feel if you're on time and in tune based off of the vibrations that are coming off of the piano. Because sometimes it's kind of, if you have a piano right there next to you and it's like playing the chords, but you can actually feel, well, okay, okay, there it is, right? You can feel like when you're in tune and everything. So a lot of that informs like the sort of Western performance that you give, or that you would see anyways, as far as how to perform vocally, right? But she did a really good job. It's this interesting song too. A really cool mix. Once the intro part, like the next part after that, there's some nice like electric guitar sounds that come in with distortion that are playing the chords and everything. It's a really cool song. It's almost like a power ballad, you know what I mean? It's not like sweet, it's not like sappy or anything, but it's definitely like it's all about the voice, you know what I mean? It's all about that strong voice. There's like what, 3 peaks? I mean, there's the beginning, right? There's a bit of a peak there, and then there's another, and then by the end there's like a really strong, sort of high note, sort of belting out some of these pitches, and it's really good. Again, it goes into the whole structure of the solo performances, where you have like some of their personality coming through, right, from the different members of what they do, right? The dancers, in the amount of dance, and then Diane's just sheer artistry. Like she's an artist, man. She's definitely an artist. She's not just an idol. Um, yep. uh, and so now you're seeing that also with Gio and her performance here. She's gone with something very much vocal oriented, but it's cool, man. It's cool. It's wonderful. Again, the colors, right? You look at the colors that are used, the lighting, these purples and these reds, sort of angsty. There's a little bit of that type of noir angst in there. She's singing this idea of being someone's nightmare. Even the type of song itself has a little bit of that in it. A little angst, a bit of an antagonistic type of orientation, but a very, very strong vocal performance from the leader, Miss Park Gio. And okay, let's check out. So this is really fun. It feels really good just to see them having fun. Like, she's having a blast. She's having such a good time, with this whole thing. She even hit the recorder. And I can even relate to this because I played a recorder too. I played with the guitar ensemble, and I also played with this early music ensemble. We used to do a bunch of like Renaissance and medieval music, and I had to play a tenor recorder for that. So everything about this is, like there's so much of it is quite relatable. You know what I mean? Well, also, just being totally not relatable in terms of the scope and the talent and the type, the style of the performances and everything. But that through line of things that are just universally, musical and that's always going to be there. But she's having a wonderful time, man. Like, she's having the time of her life, and that's really cool because. And I guess it was probably later on, right? I think it was afterwards when there was that moment where Nayeon is talking and sort of commending Jangyeon on her performance and saying that she worked really hard for it, and so she was happy for that. And when you take into consideration that it's been a year and a half since the group performed there, but I know it's been quite a while since Jangyeon had performed for the Korean fans, like done a performance there, and she did so well, and she had so much fun. She had some. I know this is a cover. This is a cover of a Lizzo song, if I'm not mistaken, and she did really well. She had some great notes in here too. She hit some wonderful melodies. And she had light choreography in here too. It was also fun, Everything about this was so upbeat. Look at the colors, even the color scheme again. Like, look at the yellows that are used. Like this, it's all fun. This is all just about having fun, and she had a great time. Is what it looks like. She looks fantastic too. Like, she looks so incredible, dude. She looks. Really, really amazing. My goodness, dude. I don't know everything, but I do know that she was having some issues with anxiety and stuff, for a while, and that can put, it'll kill your vibe. It's hard to perform. It's hard to even practice if you have that kind of, if you're anxious, if you have anxiety, if there's something going on, it's hard to even practice, dude. Like, you just don't feel like it. But it looks like she has all the confidence, in the world, and she's just having a blast doing it. Like, yeah, right here, she was going off. She had some wonderful, wonderful lines right here, man. And you know what? It's not a bad song. I don't know it like it. I don't listen to a lot of Western stuff. It's pop music. In the start of this entire run up on this channel, it's just, I was basing it off of being kind of out of touch with popular music, but it's not a bad song. This is actually pretty catchy. It's got some great chords. Fun. It's a fun mix in this version of it right here. So this was fun, man. This was really fun. It's great to see everyone having such a good time. She did really well. She did really well. That's pretty awesome, man. And she busted out the recorder. Okay, and this is gonna be kind of this next one with Nayeon, because she's gonna do pop, right? Pretty sure that was a solo. And it'll be fun. Let's just get into it, right? the guitar too. The ace of Twice, Nayeon. Now, of course, this is her single, right? This is her actual pop single. And it's a great song. And you know what? I haven't, because I was going to do, a reaction video for, maybe I'll still do that one anyway, right? Because the thing is, I can really hear like what the band is adding to these performances, like having a live band. I noted in there, once it got to the kind of dance break portion, the organ was going off, right? There's this, I don't know if it's synth, it probably is, but it's an organ sound. And then the guitar part came in, it was totally just like wailing on a solo line. And it was great. Like, it totally changed up the feel too, right? Like, the percussion is really spot on, especially for this kind of song, right? Because they're so punchy. Those snare hits are so punchy. Even the kick, it's nice and round, and it works extremely well. And then they get to this dance break part, and it totally went almost like a throwback to a 60s psychedelic sort of pop rock kind of feel. Like, those instrument sounds were crazy, man, and it was really good. And this is like, it's a great song, and it is like totally pop. It's like the essence of what pop is, right? Like pop music. It's got it's all hooks. It's all catchy, and it's all hooks. The choreography, the verse, the everything in this is all just hooks. It's all just super catchy. It's really cool, really fun. It's great to again see her having such a good time performing it. And this is crazy because this is the first time I'm actually hearing the song. I've heard bits and pieces of it, here and there. For example, if I've seen Nayeon appear on a variety show or something, a lot of times you'll hear pop like playing as sort of the theme music, right, for her introduction, right? Oh, look, it's Nayeon, and you hear pop 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 baby, like. So I've heard little bits and pieces of the song here and there, but this is quite an interesting like rendition of the song, right? Like this version of the song with the live band and everything. It's really good, man. It's really good. Like, this was something else. What fun, dude. What fun. Like, this is such a good time. This is an amazing time, dude. And of course, she sounded great and danced great and looked great and everything. The whole style, the whole theme of it. It's super, super pop, and it's just being done by Nayeon herself, man, by that star ace performer of Twice, which is like, they're such an incredible group, everybody's so good. Like, every single member is so good at everything. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's wild about it. That's what's like crazy about Twice, is that all 9 of them are incredible at singing, at dancing, at rapping. Like, there's nothing that they can't do, especially together. But these solo performances really sort of demonstrate a lot of their personality and a lot of their own like abilities, and as far as like things that they might indicate for the future, I mean, we know we already have like Misamo as a subunit, and there could be other subunits also. Like I said in the beginning, I hope Twice stays together forever. There may be a point in time where they're not so producing so much or performing as much, but I would still really just, I hope they stay together for like like Girls' Generation or something, right? Like just they have had such, I don't see them slowing down, or you know what I mean, like they have so much talent and such a fan base and such a following, and it's only growing, it's only getting bigger at this point. So you can easily see them having a totally successful contract term, right? The 7-year contract that they just started again, right? Like this is going to be a good run for them. And so I really think there's that potential for them to be one of these long-lasting sort of groups that way, right? So they can stay together and they can keep performing for a long time. But at the same time, what you see in some of this, look at Dion. Like, she could have a whole parallel career in whatever she wanted to do. I mean, really, like, she's not really limited by anything. She can put that performance alone, like, she could have her own album and it would do insanely good. It would be insanely good, right? So it would be like incredible. And Chaeyoung, the same thing. Like, you could totally see her doing this solo album, and like having all these sounds, all of these styles that she just wants to do, like she's always wanted to do, is the same thing. It's this artistic side of her that we see in a lot of things, in a lot of her drawings, and in her songwriting and stuff, and she has that in her, so she could do that. She could totally produce like her own album and everything, and it would also do very well. You see Jio, she could absolutely, and Jonghyun, they could, on the vocals, right? They could have their own albums also. Like, they could do this. And Momo, well, we know we have Misamo, so we already know that that's going to be its own thing. And I'm sure that when you do get a Misamo, like, this is what I'm thinking will happen when you get a Misamo subunit. Let's say they, maybe on the first album, obviously most of the songs will be like all three of them together, but it wouldn't be like, too far-fetched. Wouldn't be surprised to see, okay, here's a song where it's really just solo Mina, solo Sana, solo Momo. Like, they're just gonna do let's say one song a piece on the album, right? And let's say over the course of the subunit, however many albums they release, on each one they could each have like a solo song, right? Like one solo where it's mainly just them performing. So you see all this potential, right? And of course, Nayeon has already had her own album, and so there's all this potential. So whatever happens, whatever it is that they do, I do hope, and I think they will stay together, like, but at the same time, I think it would be really great if they eventually got to release those solo albums, to where those individual members really got to express the things that they wanted to, that perhaps they haven't had the opportunity yet, insofar as what the groups do, what the group does together, in other words. Because, on some songs, you might be able to write, you might be able to come up with the chords or something, but you won't be the sole input on it. Like, it's not just what you want to do. And so maybe just an opportunity, even if it's only one, even if we only get one Chaeyoung album or one Taeyeon album, still, I think there's so much there. I think there's so much that they have that you could tap into if they just had the opportunity, if they just had like an outlet for it. You know what I mean? But I do hope that they stay together for a real long time as a group. And this is these are just the things that I start to think of after watching these solo performances, and I'm really excited for the concert. Like this is gonna be like crazy fun to see it in person. You know what I mean? It was really good. It was like a bit of a roller coaster, right? As far as going through the solo performances, they took you everywhere. You know what I mean? Like like some things were really cool, and some things were really sexy, and some things were really sweet, and some things were really like powerful, and some things were just pure fun. Like it ran the whole spectrum, the whole gamut. Everything was like captured in this. So this was really fun, and it's gonna be a great concert, man. It's gonna be a record-setting thing. Like they're going to set records as far as attendance records, revenue records, like everything. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy, and it's really fun. So it took a little over an hour to get through these solo performances, but man, was it fun, and was it worth it? You know what I mean? So if you got to go to the concert, man, lucky you, man. Like, right, that was an incredible show. Even if you got to watch the stream, the Beyond Live stream of it, again. Are you not entertained? You know what I mean? Like, of course you are, because it's twice, and that's why they're so good, and that's why they'll always be good. And so that's gonna wrap it up for this episode of Reacting for Once. Man, this is going to be probably one of the best tours ever.